Hey friends, welcome back to Learning Made Fun, your ultimate destination for IT training content. Today, we get ready to learn some file and directory commands. Whether you're a newcomer or a long-time subscriber, I've got some exciting and informative content lined up just for you. Grab those snacks, hit that subscribe button, and let's jump right in, my friends. Who am I? I'm currently logged in as a root. I could say host name and know that I am in a security dev host. That's my instance name. I could also say host name -I, and I know the IP address for this system. So now that I know where I'm working at, I've confirmed that. We want to start today's lecture by looking at I want to go to pwd to show me my print working directory. Right now I'm in my root folder. So let's see what we have inside of our home folder. It looks like I have a folder already named for Noe. And that was actually a user that I created previously for this lab. And so let's go ahead and go into that Noe folder. And it looks like I already have a couple of test files that I've created. Now what I want to do is I want to teach you how to remove those files. So I'm going to say rm test.tx, and then if I do an ls, that one file is gone. Once again, rm test.txt, and that file is gone. I keep using the ls to relist it. Now before I remove the last one, I'm going to say ls-la, and this is going to list all the files in a long listing. Look at the difference between the ls and the ls using the switch la. I still see my test1. Here's my document, here's my test file, but in addition to that, I got some date, a time. I see that this file is a member of the root group by the user. So here I have my groups, and here I have the user. Now we haven't talked about this over here yet, but we will in a later video. These are actually read-write privileges. So like I said, we'll talk about that in another video coming up, but right now I do want to show you the difference between the ls and the la switch. So let's go ahead and clear our screen, and we want to remove this file. We were learning the rm command test1.txt, and it's all gone. If I do the long listing, however, the file is gone, but there's still content that's invisible using the LA. That's for another topic. Right now, or another conversation. Right now, let's just clean this up. We know that we don't have any text files, but I do want to learn how to create the files. So I'm going to say touch, and I'm going to say touch new file, txt, and there's my file. I can say touch new file 1.txt. I can also say copy. So I'm going to say copy new file 1.txt, and I'm going to call this one new file 2. So I can touch, or I can copy it, make a copy of it. So let's go and concatenate. Let's see what's inside of new file, and it's currently empty. I can do the same thing with new file 1 and see that that's empty, and I can do the same thing with new file 2. Should be empty, and it is. Now if I wanted to write into these files, I'm going to do so by introducing the nano command. This is one of our text editors. We have others, but for this training video, we're going to use nano. And I'm going to say nano new file.txt, and I am inside of a text editor, and I'm going to say hello world, and then I'm going to Control X, Control Y, and then I'm going to use my clear command to get back up to the top. And nothing looks to be different on the onset insofar as the files, but however now, if I do a cat new file txt, I now see the words hello world. Now earlier I made a copy of an empty file. What happens if I copy new file and call it new file 3? All right, so let's do a cat of new file 3, and it says hello world. So it's the copy, the cp command is going to make a duplicate. When I duplicated or copied a new file 1 to new file 2, it was empty. So there was nothing in there, as opposed to copying a file that's already been edited. Okay, so let's do the clear command. And we already learned how to remove these files. Let's do something else. Let's make a subdirectory in here. So we're going to say make directory new files. And notice the color difference. My text files and my directory is different. And if I do the LA switch, here's my text files. Here's the read-write directions, and my folder has different security settings as well, access. So this one, well, we'll talk about that in another video. So let's do the clear command, and I want to remove my new files, but let's add something into it, see what happens. So we're going to cd into new files, and there's currently nothing in there. And I'm going to say touch test. And inside of the touch, I have now a test folder. I could just do a remove test.txt, but what if you have many files in here? So I'm going to say cd ... to get me up to my previous level, and I can see my new files in there. And in order to do that, it could happen that you have a lot of files in there over a course of time, different privileges assigned to them. A sure way of deleting the directory and everything in it is the rm-r -r-f to remove force, and the name of it is new files. So I told it to remove, I told it to be recursive, and I told it to force it. And now if I do an ls, that folder is completely gone with the content of it that was inside that folder. I had one, but it could have been many. So be careful when you use that. All right, so the same thing could happen with one of my documents. I could say remove -force, and then I could remove new file 3.txt, in addition to just the rm that we were using earlier for the, let's see, what was the other one? New file 2.txt. So now I got my 2 files left, and then I could just go up a level, remove the entire folder. I won't, because this is a user folder, but let's just get rid of what we have left. See, new file.txt and my new file 1.txt, and now everything is gone. Oops. Remove new file 1.tx. Now everything is gone, or at least so it appears. But remember, I have hidden files in here. So just something to keep in mind, and we'll talk about what these files are doing here on our next video. So I'm going to clear this up. That concludes today's commands. We were just learning how to do a couple of file and directory commands. See you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.